Every NBA dynasty eventually reaches a crossroads. Sometimes it's obvious. A superstar retires, a championship window closes, a franchise finally accepts that its best years are behind it. Other times it happens quietly. Not with a press conference, not with a blockbuster trade, just one decision that changes everything. For the Los Angeles Lakers, that moment arrived after another disappointing postseason. On paper, this was still a talented team. They had veteran leadership, playoff experience, and one of the greatest basketball players the sport has ever seen. Yet when the games mattered most, the same problems kept showing up. The offense stalled whenever the pace slowed. The defense struggled against younger, faster teams. And perhaps most importantly, the roster no longer fit together the way championship teams are supposed to. When the Lakers walked off the floor after their playoff elimination, the feeling around the organization wasn't frustration. It was acceptance. Because everyone from the front office to the fan base understood the same thing. This version of the Lakers had reached its ceiling. For years, Los Angeles tried to squeeze one more championship run out of the LeBron James era. Every offseason brought another veteran signing, another trade, another attempt to patch the roster around an aging superstar who somehow continued to defy Father Time. And to LeBron's credit, he never stopped producing. Even in his 40s, he remained one of the NBA's most complete players. Night after night, he filled the box score with points, rebounds, assists, and clutch moments that reminded everyone why he's still mentioned among the greatest players ever. But basketball isn't won by one player anymore. The Western Conference had evolved. Oklahoma City was getting younger and deeper. San Antonio suddenly looked like the league's next powerhouse. Minnesota had become a legitimate contender, while the Lakers stayed almost exactly the same. Every season, the gap between them and the NBA's elite grew just a little wider. Eventually, reality became impossible to ignore. The roster wasn't built for the future. It was built to extend the past. And in today's NBA, that's a dangerous place to be. Then came the move that nobody thought would actually happen. LeBron James informed the Lakers that his time in Los Angeles was over. Just like that. 8 unforgettable seasons came to an end. An NBA championship, multiple conference finals appearances, historic scoring records, countless iconic moments wearing purple and gold. His departure marked the end of one of the most successful chapters in modern Lakers history. But it also created something the franchise hadn't possessed in years: freedom. For the first time in nearly a decade, every major decision no longer had to revolve around maximizing LeBron's championship window. The organization could finally think long-term. They could build for the next 5 years instead of the next 5 months. And that's exactly what they planned to do. Because while the basketball world focused on who the Lakers had just lost, the front office was already focused on someone else. Someone nearly 15 years younger. Someone capable of becoming the next face of one of sport's most iconic franchises. Luka Dončić. This wasn't simply about replacing LeBron James. Nobody can. This was about changing the Lakers' identity from the ground up. Different timeline, different philosophy, different style of basketball. Every decision from this point forward would serve one purpose: building the perfect team around Luka Dončić. But that sounds much easier than it actually is. Because if you want to maximize one of the greatest offensive talents the NBA has ever seen, you don't just add good players. You need the right players. And over the next few weeks, the Lakers made a series of moves that shocked the league. Some looked brilliant, others looked incredibly risky. Together, they may have just changed the future of the entire franchise. Once LeBron James walked away, the Lakers didn't waste time searching for another version of him. That player doesn't exist. Instead, they embraced a completely different philosophy. Rather than building around a 40-year-old legend trying to squeeze out one last championship, Los Angeles committed to a superstar entering the prime of his career. Luka Dončić wasn't just the Lakers' best player anymore. He became the blueprint. Every championship team is built around its franchise cornerstone. The Nuggets were built around Nikola Jokic. The Warriors were built around Stephen Curry. And now, the Lakers had one question to answer. What does the perfect Luka Dončić roster actually look like? The answer wasn't complicated. Throughout his career, Luka has been at his best when surrounded by 3 specific types of players. A dominant rim-running center, reliable three-point shooters, and defenders capable of covering the toughest assignments while he orchestrates the offense. The Lakers knew exactly where to begin. For years, one weakness haunted this franchise: the center position. Ever since winning the championship in 2020, Los Angeles struggled to find a long-term answer in the middle. They tried different veterans, experimented with smaller lineups, and constantly shuffled the rotation, but nothing truly solved the problem. This offseason, they finally decided to stop searching for temporary fixes. Instead, they made one of the boldest trades of the summer: Walker Kessler. To acquire the young center from Utah, the Lakers paid a massive price, sending away multiple future first-round picks and draft swaps before immediately committing over $130 million to keep him in Los Angeles.
This is going to be one of, if not the best offensive teams in the league, this Laker roster.
At first glance, many fans questioned the move. Why invest so heavily in a player who had battled injuries and had only one full breakout season? But the Lakers weren't paying for who Kessler had been. They were paying for who they believed he could become next to Luka Dončić. Standing over 7 feet tall, Kessler already ranks among the league's best interior defenders. His shot blocking, rebounding, and ability to protect the rim immediately address one of Los Angeles's biggest weaknesses. But his real value comes on the offensive end. Luka has spent his entire career making life easy for athletic centers. Whether it was throwing pinpoint alley-oops, manipulating defenses in the pick and roll, or creating wide-open finishes at the rim, Doncic has consistently elevated the big men around him. Kessler fits that mold perfectly. He's an elite screener, a dangerous lob threat, and the type of vertical finisher that forces defenses into impossible decisions. Double Luka, and Kessler gets an uncontested dunk. Stay home on Kessler, and Luka has room to attack. It's the exact partnership the Lakers have been missing for years. But Rob Pelinka knew one center wouldn't solve every problem. Losing veterans like Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard left major holes on the perimeter. The defense needed fresh legs. The offense needed more shooting. And perhaps most importantly, Luka needed teammates who could thrive without demanding the ball every possession. That's why the Lakers' offseason was only getting started. The Kessler trade wasn't the final piece. It was simply the foundation. Because over the next several days, Los Angeles quietly assembled a roster designed to maximize every one of Luka Doncic's strengths. And that's where this rebuild became far more interesting than anyone expected. Landing Walker Kessler solved one of the Lakers' biggest problems. But it didn't solve all of them. If Los Angeles was serious about building around Luka Dončić, they couldn't rely on one blockbuster trade. Championship teams aren't built around a single move. They're built through layers of smart decisions.
They've coveted him for a year. They've wanted this guy. They've tried to trade for him multiple times before. They've targeted him. This is absolutely smacking it. Now, he's coming off a year where he missed the whole year with injury, had to have shoulder surgery, but big body, 7'2", rim rolling threat, defend the rim. Absolutely.
And that's exactly what the Lakers focused on next. The first priority was strengthening the backcourt. With veteran departures creating significant holes on the perimeter, Los Angeles needed younger players who could defend, shoot, and contribute without taking the ball out of Luka's hands. Enter Quentin Grimes. At first glance, Grimes may not have generated the same headlines as some of the league's bigger free agent signings. But sometimes, the smartest additions are the ones that don't dominate sports talk shows. Grimes had quietly developed into one of the NBA's most reliable two-way guards. His scoring had steadily improved, his confidence continued to grow, and defensively, he brought exactly the kind of versatility modern contenders need. More importantly, he'd already shared the floor with Luka earlier in his career. That familiarity wasn't a coincidence. The Lakers wanted players who already understood how to play alongside one of basketball's most ball-dominant superstars. Grimes didn't need to become an all-star. He simply needed to defend multiple positions, knock down open shots, and make life easier for everyone around him. Then came another move that addressed an entirely different issue. Whenever Luka rested last season, the offense often came to a complete stop. Too much responsibility fell on one player. Every championship contender needs someone capable of creating offense when the superstar sits, and the Lakers believed they found that answer in Collin Sexton. Few guards attack the basket with the same relentless energy. Sexton built his reputation as an aggressive scorer, But over the last few seasons, he quietly transformed another part of his game. His outside shooting. Defenders could no longer simply sag off him. That made him the perfect fit for a Luka-led offense. Whether starting or leading the second unit, Sexton gives Los Angeles something they desperately lacked. Instant offense. But perhaps the most underrated signing of the entire offseason came in the front court. Sandro Mamukelashvili wasn't brought in to be the face of the franchise. He was brought in because he solves problems. Modern NBA offenses demand spacing, especially when playing alongside a traditional center like Walker Kessler. Mamukelashvili provides exactly that. Nearly 40% from beyond the arc. The ability to attack closeouts, solid passing, and enough versatility to play multiple front court positions. Instead of forcing Kessler to operate in cramped spacing, Mamu stretches opposing defenses, opening driving lanes for Luka while creating cleaner looks for everyone else. It's the type of signing casual fans often overlook. Coaches don't. Then, just when it seemed the Lakers had finished reshaping their roster, they made one final veteran addition. Kevon Looney. 3 NBA championships. Years of playoff experience. One of the league's most dependable rebounders. Looney isn't expected to play 30 minutes a night. He doesn't have to. His value lies in stability. Every young contender benefits from experienced veterans who understand what winning actually requires, and few role players have been part of more meaningful playoff basketball than Looney. Suddenly, the picture became much clearer. Kessler protected the rim. Grimes strengthened the perimeter. Sexton energized the bench. Mamukelashvili stretched the floor. Looney added championship experience. Individually, none of these moves completely changed the Lakers. Together, they transformed the identity of the entire roster. For the first time in years, Los Angeles wasn't simply collecting recognizable names. They were assembling complementary pieces. Every signing had a purpose. Every contract fit the timeline. Every decision pointed toward one objective: maximize Luka Dončić. But while the basketball fit looked promising, the price of this transformation was enormous. And that's where the real debate begins. On paper, the Lakers accomplished exactly what they set out to do. They got younger. They got more athletic. They filled their biggest weaknesses. And most importantly, they finally built a roster that fits Luka Dončić instead of forcing Luka to fit the roster. But every major decision in the NBA comes with a price. And the Lakers paid one of the biggest prices of any team this offseason. To land Walker Kessler, Los Angeles surrendered multiple future first-round picks and draft swaps. Then they committed hundreds of millions of dollars to a new core built around Luka, Austin Reaves, and Kessler. That's an enormous investment. Because unlike rebuilding teams with endless draft capital, the Lakers don't have many opportunities to recover if this plan fails. There's very little room for error. If Kessler develops into one of the league's elite defensive centers, the trade could become one of the defining moves of this era. If he doesn't, the Lakers may spend years trying to replace the assets they gave away. And that's only part of the challenge. The Western Conference isn't getting any easier. The Oklahoma City Thunder continue to look like one of basketball's deepest and youngest contenders. Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs appear to be building something special. Denver still has Nikola Jokic. Minnesota has established itself as a legitimate threat. Every season, the path to the NBA Finals becomes more difficult. That means this new-look Lakers team won't have much time to figure things out. Chemistry can't be built overnight. A roster filled with new faces needs time. Players have to learn new systems. Roles have to be defined. Trust has to develop. And expectations in Los Angeles leave little patience for growing pains. Every missed rotation will be criticized. Every losing streak will become national news. Every poor shooting night from Luka will dominate headlines. That's simply the reality of wearing a Lakers jersey. But maybe that's exactly why this rebuild feels different. For years, Los Angeles operated with one goal in mind: give LeBron James one more chance to win. Now, the mission has changed completely. Instead of chasing the final chapter of one legend, they're writing the opening chapter for another. This isn't about extending the past anymore. It's about creating the future. Every move Rob Pelinka made points toward the same vision. Protect Luka with elite defense. Surround him with shooters. Give him a vertical threat at center. Build a roster young enough to compete not just this season, but for the next 5 or even 10 years. It's a philosophy the Lakers haven't truly embraced in a long time. Of course, none of this guarantees championships. The NBA doesn't work that way. Talent wins games. Chemistry wins playoff series. Health often decides championships. And sometimes even the best plans fall apart. But one thing is undeniable. The Los Angeles Lakers no longer resemble the team that walked off the court after their disappointing playoff exit. The LeBron James era is officially over. A completely new identity has taken its place. Now every possession, every trade, every championship dream will revolve around one player, Luka Dončić. Whether this becomes one of the greatest rebuilds in franchise history or a gamble that ultimately falls short won't be decided today. It won't even be decided this season. The answer will unfold over the next several years. Because for the first time in nearly a decade, the Lakers aren't trying to preserve an aging dynasty. They're trying to build the next one. And if they got this offseason right, the rest of the NBA may have just been put on notice. But what do you think? Did the Lakers make the right decision by fully committing to Luka Dončić, or did they sacrifice too much of their future chasing the perfect roster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because the next chapter of Lakers basketball is only just beginning.